The Red Dirt D&D podcast is brought to you by Pro Laser Cuts. The Oklahoma company provides pre-made and customizable design laser cut dice towers, tokens, and more, developed by a gamer for gamers, and now available to enhance your tabletop game. Pro Laser Cuts products can be found at many Oklahoma City area game stores, local events, and now available online at prolasercuts.com. That's laser and cuts with a Z, Pro Laser Cuts. And by SD Way Gaming, where dice goblins unite. Our friends at SD Way Gaming celebrate the beautiful dice players handpick for their games and splendor. SD Way Gaming has expanded to include many tabletop gaming varieties, accessories, and similar fun necessities to include a service for your dice addiction. You can shop for a variety of products at sdwaygaming.com or find SD Way Gaming on Facebook. Welcome to Red Dirt D&D. I'm Michael Cross, and I play Elias Stone, a human cleric.
I'm Connor Shenold. I play Sable, a half-elf rogue.
I'm Johnny Payne, and I play August E. Greymore, a human fighter.
I'm Carrie Hester, and I play Moxie, a tiefling bard.
And I'm Brooke Bullock, your DM. Please join us as we explore the curse of the Clockwork City. With intel from some rescued children, the party investigated a dilapidated fishery, splitting up, simultaneously searching the upper and lower levels. In the process, the groups dispatched 2 henchmen, a clawfoot raptor, and found nearly 20 children locked away in an upstairs room. But one of the children from the Illuminated Light Orphanage was not to be found. Tomas was taken, the children said, to the secret room that no one comes back from. In searching for the secret room, August lowered Sable down a narrow shaft that leads to water below, testing it and revealing that the walls might actually slide or move, although no mechanism is found to open it from this side. Meanwhile, verging on frustration, Moxie and Dr. Elias finally found a secret panel near the back entryway door that slid away to reveal narrow stairs going down into darkness.
Hey, August, Sable, we found a room. We're gonna go down some steps. You stay on that side, and we're gonna see if we can come to you. Is that okay?
You might want to check out for any traps. That leads to the kobolds. I found a lot of traps on the way here. You sure about that going on by yourself?
Are you doubting me, Sable?
I would never.
I can handle it. I'll just use Dr. Stone as a shield.
All right.
Wait, what?
I'll pull myself out of the
Oh, do you want to come
shaft.
with us instead? I was thinking you could stay down there.
Well, I don't see any mechanism down there that could pull it.
Sable, I'm thinking that I'm gonna go down these stairs and I'm gonna find the door and I'm gonna be able to open the door from where you are.
Quick question. Are you shouting that like the 15 feet across the way?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're already doing it.
All right, let's head on down.
And Moxie will take the lead because she has dark vision.
You descend down these stairs. They're very steep, and they drop about 10 feet down in just about 10 feet. And the air down here is chilly, and it stinks of mildew and rot. You, with your dark vision, can see there is an L-shaped pit of water that is approximately where Sable has been investigating in the level that's just right above you. It does seem to have a box on one corner that's making the L. That would line out really well with the box that Sable is shimmied down. Most of the room is in darkness. It is a room that is about 30 feet wide and 35 to 40 feet long. There's like a framed in room or structure at the far end of this room, and coming out from an open doorway there, you can see a soft half circle of dim light, about 10 feet or so of dim light. Whatever light is in this room is very, very dim. It's just enough that those folks without dark vision can make out the edge of this large pit of drops down to the water, and you can make out a tottering figure that's walking toward this doorway. With your dark vision, you can also see above the water pit is some type of like boom with a rope and a pulley, and standing next to where that base of that thing is a fairly large humanoid figure, apparently turned away from you.
Since I can't see anything, I am going to actually open my doctor's bag, pull out some phosphorescent moss, and put it on my mace and cast light so I can see.
Now they can definitely see us.
Oh, yes.
About that time, you hear a mechanical, kind of one of those crank-style horns. It's not very loud, but probably everybody can hear it. Sable, if you don't mind, roll me Sable and August, if you don't mind, because you guys are upstairs, roll me a perception check.
17.
17, yeah, you definitely hear this.
Some type of alarm ringing out downstairs.
Do you want me to pull you up or lower you back down? Lower you further?
Pull me back up.
All right, so you guys come back up. You are now on the level with the vat and the stairs that went up in this split level warehouse, and on the same level that maybe Dr. Elias, have you gone down the stairs of the secret room yet?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, very good.
I'm right behind Moxie.
How far down the stairs did you go? All the way down to the base?
I thought that I was already approaching the door where I felt like Sable was on the other side of the door.
Yes, you're at the base of the stairs. There's a hulking figure there. No weapons or anything. It appears to be turned away. So as you guys come down the stairs, as you cast your light, as August pulls Sable back up the rope, those of you downstairs saw this tottering figure, drunk maybe, walk into the light that's there, walk into this semicircle of light that's there. As you get to the base of the stairs, that alarm goes off again, a second time. This time it does 3 sounds. Both of you can hear a little muffled, but obviously coming from the room with the open door light, you can hear,
"Who the bloody hell's sulking about? You better not be wasting my time. Go your back. What do you want, you stupid lopsided scarecrow?"
and the horn continues,
God, shut up! I can see him.
and then that horn immediately stops. There's another voice, probably from the trenchcoat figure, that says,
"We discuss egg."
Oh, the egg. You mean my little insurance policy? Did you bring what I asked for?
The deal. There was a problem. Children escaped.
Escaped? Your one bloody job. 4 brats for your stinking egg. That's not hard math, even for a bunch of lizard brains like you.
We guess wrong. The protectors. No bargain, something else.
A new bargain? Do I look like a charity to you? Now listen to me, you skelly little rats. A deal's a deal. You failed me, and you don't deserve your precious egg. Maybe I'll crack it open for breakfast and eat it myself.
and you see this trenchcoat figure kind of lurch forward, and the hat slips off for just a moment. Roll perception check.
Oh my gosh, a nat 20 for a 25.
I got a 19.
Both of you instantly see the image shimmer around just a little bit before the man readjusts it. And you clearly see a kobold sitting on top of another kobold with a blanket or something. And then as he readjusts this hat, it shimmers back into a trench coat. The voice says,
No cracking, please. We find new thing. Gold, magic.
and then the older voice says,
Code? Magic? What do I want with any of that? I want some healthy brats. The ones here can't handle it. Healthy family kids are worth more to me than all your shiny rocks and your second-rate tricks. And if you can't get them, well then maybe I'll sell your egg to someone who can.
there's a multitude of hisses that come from this trenchcoat figure.
Oh, what are you gonna do?
Bite my ankle? Get out of my sight and bring me some healthy runts. Go on! Or does another one of you want to meet Joanna and Kurt?
And so this figure in the trench coat wobbles and staggers and stands there for a second, and then slowly does a shuffle to start to turn around. And then they freeze and don't move because they see these 2 figures standing on the stairs, one with a glowing mace.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't seem to, we didn't mean to interrupt your conversation.
Who the hell is that?
Oh, my name's Dr. Elias. This here's Moxie.
Let's roll for initiative.
All of us are just
Yeah,
Moxie.
everybody can roll for initiative, so we kind of have a movement of what's going on.
Can I say I had already started making my way towards the stairs?
Definitely, you guys, August and Sable, are probably at the top of the stairs about now.
Not directly at the top of the stairs.
Sable, what's your initiative?
Modified 20, who wants it?
And how are you passing that off?
With my alert feature.
Awesome.
I got a 15. Would you take a 15 over a 20 just to get me in front of you?
What the rest of y'all get?
I got a
I
19.
got 2.
You got a 2?
No, somebody can have my 2 then, or my 15 also.
Okay.
Y'all are there, we're not.
Yeah.
It would get there faster if we just went, but
We're
yeah.
also in your way.
What'd you get?
19.
So I'll take your 15.
I'll go last.
You get my 20, technically, and then
I'll take your 2.
you take your 2. Yeah.
So Dr. Elias first, and then Moxie, and then Sable, and then August E. Graymore taking the 2. So Dr. Elias, as befitting the initiative here, starts to talk and then is interrupted by a voice that basically says, "Who the bloody heck is that? Would you like to continue to do anything else?"
Do they look like they're aggressive and going to fight us?
Well, I don't know. The voice is coming from the room that you can't see into.
Who am I looking at?
You're looking at kobolds in a trench coat and then some bulky figure that now you notice with your light is possibly made of wood with some metal bands on it.
Can you move me over? And I'm going to say, look, we don't want any trouble. We're just here. We're looking for some kids. And I am going to ready toll the dead if anybody gets aggressive.
Moxie, anything you want to jump into?
Is it my turn?
There is, unless there's some dialogue or something that happens, depending on what you do. But
I want to go farther into the room.
so Dr. Elias moves to what is basically the north around the L-shaped pit of water that's there. The water's about 7 feet down, and that's to the left of the stairs. Moxie went straight out from the stairs going down about 10 feet and is about 15 feet diagonally from the open doorway.
Can I see any part of that room?
You know, Dr. Elias, yeah, both of you go ahead and roll a perception because Dr. Elias has lined himself up with the open doorway.
17.
8.
Okay, no, evidently that automaton or maybe that pulley system's kind of in your way. You can't quite see anything in there. It appears to be kind of empty space. Moxie, from your angle, like maybe a desk, kind of a catty-cornered desk is inside that room?
I'm guessing there's a wall on some part of this pool.
Just on the little boxed-in section, makes kind of an L with
Gotcha.
the boxed-in
Okay,
section.
so
So like
that...
earlier when Sable was dangling, that Sable was right here.
Right,
That's exactly
So
right.
that's the part. Okay, so I am standing in front of the open part of it.
Yes,
You can see water.
very good. Roll me one more perception check just for giggles.
23.
Maybe you're not paying attention to the room because you're paying attention to these faux walls that are right there as covering up part of the pit. And definitely the one directly in front of you on this end will slide to the right and slide open. And it looks like the one that forms the side wall, creating the L in the pit, it looks like it can probably slide toward you. By the way, there are several large pillars, like maybe 3 feet around or so, that are spaced without the room. Obviously support pillars. They appear to be coming up through the wooden floor and then extending up into the ceiling above.
So here's what I'm gonna say. Listen up, you little kobolds. I don't particularly like doing business with you. You seem a little slimy as creatures, but I'm gonna help you get that egg that you seem to just really want. But you gotta help me. You help us get the kids out of here, and we will give you your egg. What do you say?
2 rolls there for myself, and you see the tawdry figure very clearly nod yes, and then starts backing up toward the far wall, passing by the bulky automaton figure that's at the corner of the thing. And they back all the way up to the wall.
That way?
Yep, exactly to the far wall that's opposite of the stairs, and then about halfway down that eastern wall.
And so they get out of the way.
Say they nod and get out of the way.
The wooden hulking figure.
Yes.
Not moving right now.
No.
And so then I'm going to shout into the room, use thaumaturgy to boom my voice.
So Masami, if you can hear me, go ahead and give me a noise if you can. And if I don't hear a noise coming out of that room in the next 3 seconds, Mr. Colgan, me and my army are gonna come in there and we're gonna take Tomas and feed you to these sharks you love so much.
Something in the way you have spoken has petrified anyone listening, probably. As I said, the 3 kobolds in a trench coat, they nod and then move
I will
out
say,
of the way.
To finish off my turn, since they moved and I'm not worried about them attacking me, I will go a little bit farther along this west wall towards the south to finish my move and get completely out of the way of the stairwell. I don't have any bonus action stuff I can do, so.
In that 10-foot space in the south corner, you can see that there are a couple of wood-rotted cabinets that are there with just a mess of like trinkets and junk all scattered along the top of both of them. So
Make a mental note to look through it later.
there we go. Sable, what would you like to do at the top of the stairs?
I'm still tucked back behind one of the curves in order to not be fully down there. I would like to slip into stealth. A 19.
Alrighty. You appear to be very quiet.
Okay. I'm going to creep down a little, still behind August, but I'm going to pull out that hand crossbow that I got from earlier and see how everything plays out. I can't really ready an action. I think my stealth was technically my action.
The door to this room with the light that's kind of shining out from the far end, you see like the little flicker of a shadow. Moxie, you see what looks like a very old man hunched over and limping. He goes to the door and he shuts the door. And then you hear a voice from behind the door that says,
Cog, feed the shark!
This automaton bends down and picks up a bundle, maybe about 4 feet tall or so, canvas. It's just wrapped in ropes, tightly just bound and bound and bound and wrapped in ropes. Except there is a arm of a youngster sticking out through one of those. And Cog turns and hooks this bundle laterally long ways onto the hook and swings it out over the pit so that the boy's arm is hanging down toward the water.
Can I count that as aggressive?
Yeah, I think
Toll
so.
the dead on the creature. DC 13.
Very good.
Wisdom save, sorry.
What kind of damage does Toll the Dead
Necrotic.
do? Necrotic damage. All right, very good. Roll the 12.
Excellent.
Roll some damage.
So, 8 points of necrotic damage.
Oh
on it.
my gosh. You see this blackened starburst across the wooden chest of this automaton. And that means it's August E. Greymore's turn.
5, 10, 15, we'll call that one 20, 25, 30. That puts me here. I can still reach him. He has the control in his hand.
Roll me a quick perception check.
19.
This is a boom that swings out over the thing. The kid, the bundle with the child in it, is over the water now. There is a crank on the side of this boom. Presumably, Cog's next action would be to start cranking the crank. Just FYI.
If he had an arm.
If he... Oh, is that a threat?
So, yeah, that was not the greatest roll in the world. It's an 11.
Modified 11 is a miss.
Well, it's about that. I look over my shoulder at Moxie. Did you call for an army? Intern.
Back to the top of the initiative round. Dr. Elias Stone, standing down there in the north end, about 20 feet away from the door to this other room that is closed. Now, Dr. Stone's light is the only light source in the room, coming off of his mace. You have noticed that the panel doors make the L shape of this water pit. You could slide those and it would be a full 10 feet wide, 15 feet long, if one wanted to do that. Don't know that you have a reason to, but what would you like to do?
I am going to drop my mace so that there's still light in this area.
Yes.
Whilst pulling out my light crossbow, casting True Strike on it and firing. At the automaton. 15
Yes.
and 4 points of radiant damage.
Radiant, you say? How have you empowered your crossbow with radiant? Tell me.
Because of True Strike, which now allows you to use your spell casting for attack and damage on the weapon that I used, and can be radiant or normal damage.
The arrow hits. It doesn't perhaps go as deeply as you expected, but then there's this burst of silvery thread that just goes all over it. Nicely done.
I guess that's it for me.
Okay, Moxie, your turn.
Let's set him on fire. I can't hit him with a firebolt, hopefully. Fingers crossed. 15.
Yes, that hits.
For only 3 fire damage.
Okay, so obviously the wooden structure of this thing is perhaps reinforced, but it does scar, it does blacken it slightly.
Does this guy look like he have really long arms?
Normal reach.
So I'm going to go over, I use my action, but I am going to walk over and stand in front of this door.
Okay.
And then I'm going to look at August and, August, you're my one-man army. I'm going to give you Bardic Inspiration.
I never saw you as a one-man person.
Oh, you cut me to the quick, August.
It is now the kobold's turn, and the kobolds back up all the way to the northeast corner, and they're just standing there.
You ain't gonna earn your egg if you ain't gonna help us. I said help.
Sable.
I was actually at the top of the stairs.
Yeah.
I'm going to go past where the wall is for the water and get catty corner behind August, other side by the water. That way I've got a direct shot to the automaton. Still stealthing, did he beat a 19?
No, the automaton did not beat a 19.
So I've got advantage on my hand crossbow attack.
Ooh.
15 to hit,
Yes.
6 piercing.
You hit him in the shoulder. The arrow doesn't seem like it goes in very far,
Okay.
but you do some damage.
How much movement to squeeze in between Moxie and August? I've got a total of 35.
You could do an athletics check to try to jump over the pit.
Sure.
Don't fall into the shark.
If this works, I love the image of him like shooting the hand crossbow in the air as he's jumping across the pit.
That's a modified 20.
Oh my gosh, yes!
And bonus action dagger?
Yes!
It's only going to be a 13.
The point doesn't go in.
Okay.
So now we have the kobolds in a trench coat down in the northeast corner. We have Dr. Elias Stone at the north end of the water pit. We have Cog, the automaton, at the southeast corner of the water pit, with Sable just beside him, Moxie diagonally from Cog and right next to Sable, and 10 feet away from him is August E. Greymore. But first, the creature's going to make a move, and he turns toward the crank and lowers the crank. The boy moves down about 5 feet, so he is just about even with the floor level. The water is like 3 feet below him, 4 feet below him at that point. Then he bends down and picks up a small bucket that's sitting there beside him, turns it upside down, and a bunch of chum and gunk and awful drops down into the water. Who wants to be in charge of fate?
I'll do it.
Roll me a d4.
3.
Thank you. And that is Cog's action. Maybe something else happens somewhere else. And it's August E. Greymore's turn.
I'll swing at the automaton
Okay.
with my great cleave, hoping I don't swing wild. 22.
Definitely, that's a hit.
Fantastic. For a 6,
Total.
yes.
All right, so
Damage.
what should have been a very vicious slice across this thing's chest if it were human leaves a cleave, but not much damage. About half, perhaps.
Very good. I swing, I hit him and realize this does nothing. I look at my halberd, I look at the children, and I slightly move my head to the side and catch the gaze of the good doctor at the other end of this pool. Are you ready? And I look up and down the rope, and that's my turn.
We are at the top of the initiative order. Dr. Elias Stone.
All right. So Dr. Elias Stone is going to run 5, 10, 15, 20 right there. He does not have his hand on the crank, correct? Because he used the bucket of the chum, right?
He has one hand at the crank and reach down with the other hand to throw it in.
I'm going to
Interact action.
grab the chain and start cranking him up, and I'm going to cast Bless on myself, August, and Sable.
Roll me an opposed strength check.
5. So
I just barely beat you with
Yes.
an 8 on the die. I was for sure that was going to work.
I am cranking as much as I can, but
And it's holding the crank still, not letting you move.
that's it.
Alrighty, Moxie.
Okay.
Child dangling over the water, door closed, automaton trying to lower said child, people converging.
I'm gonna go with what I initially had the idea of and try to open this door.
Excellent. The door opens.
Burst into the room.
There you go. As you open the door, there's a ready action that takes place on the other side
I'm sure there is.
of the door. Go ahead and make me a dex check as
Check?
a dexterity check.
Not a
as-
saving throw?
A
This
dex
seems-
saving throw. Yeah,
Okay.
go ahead. Make a dex saving
My
throw.
modifier is different.
Only an 8.
You didn't expect the floor to fall out from underneath you into the water below. Below this area is a narrow space. There's about 3 feet of room between the water and the ceiling. So you didn't fall very far. And there's all kinds of wooden pilings that are supporting the building underneath here, and they're all mossy, and there's some cobwebs, and there's like ropes and chains that are, hanging between the pillars. They also are like moss covered, these pilings that are there. You do see about 10 feet away, which would be like in the corner of the building, there is a wooden walkway that's just barely above water level, and it seems to kind of like weave in between the pillars and stuff.
So it looks like my options are swim and have to go like around the outside of the building and come all the way back in.
Possibly.
Or B, try to climb the 3 feet up on these very slippery, mossy chains and ropes.
True.
So let's try the chains. What if they work? I'm going to reach up and try to like climb back up the way I came.
Okay, for your action, make me a dex check.
Nat 20, baby!
Whoa!
Which turns into a 22.
That's fantastic.
I'm full of rage now. I just washed my hair.
You are able to somehow, this slippery, gross rope and chains that are dangling nearby, you're able to like grab one, put your foot in the other, stand back up, and we all see Moxie's head like pop back up through this trapdoor in the floor. You could use your move action to climb the rest of the way out if you want, or you could do something from there.
Yeah, I want to get out of the hole.
Okay.
So I have a bonus action left. Do I see a people in this room? Any peoples?
Yes, as you look through the now open doorway, you can see what looks like a despicable office. The air drifting out of it smells of like mildew and probably fouled with the lingering smell of like a latrine. Inside, you can see a dilapidated, wood-rotted desk, catty-cornered, just off the center of the room. That's the corner over there you saw from earlier. And it appears to just be a mess of stuff on the top of the desk. Sitting at the desk is that jaundiced, ancient-looking old man that you caught a glimpse of. And last but not least, the other thing you kind of notice in this very smudgy lantern light of this room, there are several strands of rope spaced slightly apart that are hanging down from the ceiling. You quickly surmise, oh, yeah, of course he did. Pull the rope, trapdoor, splash.
So can she crawl into the room then?
She could crawl into the room, I suppose. As you crawl out, if you wanted to use your move action to crawl out of the hole, which way would you like to crawl? You could crawl straight back toward the water pit. You could crawl to the right and be next to Sable, or you could crawl into the room.
We're using the word crawl a lot, which makes me think that I would be considered prone.
You'll be able to stand up.
Okay.
With that move action.
I would crawl into the room and
Okay.
stand up. As I crawl into the room, I look up and be like, please, Sable, I know what I'm doing. And I will give Sable my last bardic.
All right, there's that bonus action. Nicely done. Cog cranks the lever again. Actually,
Can I-
compose strength check?
Yes.
Yeah.
14.
I rolled a 14 on the die plus his strength, so he's able to force through your hand. And so he's able to crank it some more, and we see this canvas-wrapped bundle with one arm sticking out lower past the floor, and you start hearing whimpering and crying. That's Cog's action. The kobolds move over along the north edge toward the stairs. And Sable, it's your turn.
Okay, I am going to drop the hand crossbow, free action to pull out my rapier,
Yes.
and then with the bless, 18 to hit.
Yes.
Elias is there, so I've got sneak attack for 11. I think it's piercing for the rapier.
Very good.
On the hit, I get advantage because of my rapier's vex for my dagger attack. So that is a 15. The damage is 3.
14 total.
Yes.
There we go. And again, that would have been nearly critical for a regular person, but you are chipping away at this wood figure. It is now this old man's turn. He reaches up with each hand toward a rope and pulls 1, and then pulls the other. Let's see about fate. Go ahead and roll me a percentile die, Kiri, to see if this contraption perhaps works. And we'll find out what that number is next week.
Red Dirt D&D Curse of the Clockwork City is Brooke Bullock as our Dungeon Master, Kiri Hester as Moxie, Connor Shenold as Sable, Johnny Payne as August E. Graymore, and I'm Michael Cross as Dr. Elias Stone. Our theme music comes from Ovani Sound. Our sound effects and additional music courtesy of Jeffrey McBride, Monument Studios, Describe.com, and TabletopAudio.com. Dice for the Red Dirt D&D cast provided by ST Way Gaming. You can find us at reddirtdnd.com. If you are enjoying Red Dirt D&D, make sure to subscribe, rate us, and leave a comment. Also, tell your friends about Red Dirt D&D. You can also support the show at patreon.com/reddirtdnd at whatever giving level works best for you. Join us next time as we discover more secrets in the Clockwork City.